Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So, Caleb, I'm glad I've got you where we can talk back and forth. I certainly like to try to make these sessions as interactive as possible, so we can,
Mhm.
focus in on what people need to see. And in fact, yesterday I had just recorded a lecture where I walked through everything that I'm going to send out to folks. So it'll be pre-recorded, with the
Mhm.
idea going forward that we might do what they call an inverted classroom, where people can listen to the basic lecture beforehand, and then when we meet and interact live, we can focus more on troubleshooting or questions that people have, specific to their attempts to get this thing running. So I'll walk through things as well as far as the order fulfillment. And I know, Harvey, you've listened in on a few of these as well, but you're welcome here as we get started. But let me ask Caleb first. Are there any particular areas that you'd like us to focus on in terms of what you've done so far, or what you need to learn at this point?
Um, I'm not quite sure what's the outline for today's sessions. Can you just tell me what you're going to cover in these sessions?
Sure, sure. So this is the last of our modules on order fulfillment, and it really builds on all the work up to this point in terms of getting your zones ready and the properties scored. And the actual uh, technical stuff that we'll demonstrate today is fairly short. I mean, it's fairly straightforward to enter an order, but I'll show you how to do that. So if you've got a local client and you want to do a property for them and show them what the ZVal looks like, for example, you can put in that property in the client name and create a report out of Valytics. Uh,
Mhm.
as well, once we're in production, if we've got orders being loaded for us centrally, you'll be able to see those. There's a couple different ways you can see the money bags on the map here. So
Mhm.
we'll look at that, fulfilling the orders, and then walk through the form itself and how you can modify the order form as you're going through completing the order, and then put your signature on it. So that's the piece that's the core of order fulfillment. We start all these sessions with a little bit of a background on the Chrome browser, how to get that set up. And when you
Mhm.
do orders in particular, you're going to have a couple things. You're going to have your signature in there so you can apply that to the order. And you're going to have to change the PDF viewer from the Chrome default, from the thing that comes automatically, to the Adobe one. And it's built
Mhm.
in, but it's just clicking a couple buttons. So we'll demonstrate that as well. So that's where we go. And so Harvey's saying, he needs to go from the money bag to order fulfillment. So he probably
Mhm.
has Chrome set up and working so far. So that's kind of the broad outline. How does that sync with what you've done so far,
So
Caleb?
far, I have done most of my beginning I think I'm just up to the modify live, and I still need to. The last time I'm stuck into the MLS importing, so I'm kind of
Uh huh.
in that stage, and I haven't have any order fulfillment done yet. So I kind of anticipate, there will be an order coming in the future, in the next couple months. But I
Right.
gotta, take this session and learn something about it, and then be ready for like any new order come to me.
Good, good. Okay. Well, we'll cover that today. And like I said, I've recorded this as well. And so I'll send out that link to everybody. And then you'll have that for reference when it comes time to do your first reel or your first test order, if you want to go back and look or refresh yourself
Okay.
on anything. So, Caleb, are you an ADO or a zone
I
owner?
have
And what part of the
three
country are
zones
you in?
located in the Southern California, in the Los Angeles area, and
Uh huh.
so I'm a zone owner, Sony.
Are you under Chaz or David
My
Moore as your
ADO
ADO?
is Marshall Hunter. Okay.
Oh, Manisha. Okay, Manisha Hunter. So you're a
Yeah.
bit inland. Yeah. Okay. All right. And now on your setup, Caleb, you have the Google Chrome browser
Yes.
installed. Okay. And have you gone through the thing of setting up the signature file or the PDF viewer yet? You don't need those till you get to this step.
I sort of like,
But
I don't think I have set up the signature yet. And I think I just, I don't recall I did anything on the signature. So it's new to me, yes.
okay. All right, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and do that, and as well the PDF viewer. Um, and so to do the
All right.
PDF viewer, and Glenn, do you remember this one? Is it
But
extensions?
the backslashes have to go the other way,
Yep.
and it's plugins.
Ex- Plugins. Okay.
Oh,
I'm getting old.
Hey, I'm
I've
older
recorded
than
it,
you,
but,
I think.
wow.
yeah, let's do it like this. All right.
All right.
Chrome. I don't think there's a menu way to do this, so you've literally got to
Okay.
type this in the bar. So Chrome plugin. So that'll bring you to this. Now, I've already changed it, but here's the key. I've got 25. I'm not sure if this is the same kind of out of the box, but here's this Chrome PDF viewer, and down here's this
Okay.
Adobe Acrobat. And oops, we'll disable this. When you first get it, this Chrome PDF viewer is going to be enabled and the Acrobat one disabled. So we'll want to
Okay.
click Enable, and that'll automatically turn off this one, and it'll automatically check this. So once you've done that, you should be set. If it's ever not working, you can go back and check this, but this is a one-time deal to say it uses the Adobe Acrobat, and that's because the form engine, if you will, that we create these orders from uses the Adobe tool, and this will allow us to go in and update different fields in the actual reports that we generate. The other thing that you've probably seen demonstrated, and for me, this is the time that clearing the cache actually has worked. I've seen it is when you're generating the forms. So like yesterday I had created a ZVal, and then I was going to create a new 2055, and the screen was just white. Normally it takes a while, but it never did come. And so then I had to go through the steps to clear the cache. And if you haven't seen that before, that's
Okay.
this wrench here and the history, and then that'll bring up this kind of screen, and it's this clear all browsing data, and it brings
Okay.
up this box. The cache is where all these files, pieces of the forms get pre-downloaded or kept on your system, so the browser will work faster, but sometimes something will get corrupted, or maybe not everything's downloaded, and so the browser won't work right. And so if you empty this cache from the beginning of time, that'll force it to re-download everything and
Okay.
kind of start fresh. And that will tend to clear things up if either the form looks funny or it's not appearing at all. So this clear the browsing data, that's kind of the first troubleshooting step you can take to see if you can resolve some problems. So with that, now let's go back to our start screen. All right, so this is a normal login screen in Validics. I'm here. I'll switch over to the user acceptance testing server just so we can kind of play around there. And, you know, the login screen looks a little different, but after that it's the same. And, you know, each weekend they override everything that's on UAT with what's in production, so you can play around here, do what you want, and not worry about messing things up. So when you start here, you'll either see orders if you've already got them, or you can create orders, and you'll go to this tab up here in the black menu bar, and you can click on that, And so then it'll display it a couple different ways. If you've got multiple zones, it'll show you for each zone the orders that are in there. I guess once we've got customers, we may see Bank of America and Morgan Stanley, and where the orders are coming from. So there's a couple different ways to look at it. And the other thing that's changed recently, there's this order number here and the address, the product that we're going to generate, and then this status. And so dispatched is the first status when a new order is entered, whether you enter it or somebody else does. It'll say dispatched. If you are working on it, there's now an option to save it. So if you've done some changes, you can save it, and then this status will say saved. And once you've signed it, instead of disappearing, it'll still be in here and say signed, and so you could still go back and look at it, update it if you want to.
How long
the
this order will stay here? I mean, once you sign it, and it will stay here for quite some time, or it will be...
I'm thinking right now they don't have a way to clear this off, but they'll need to take care of it once we get rolling here. 106 days ago, I created a ZVal here that's still in the queue, so that may change, and hopefully they'll sort it so the new ones are on top. But this is all still relatively new. So right now, they're all still in here, and so until you hear otherwise, they're not they're not going to come out. So. Okay, and so this also corresponds to the map, the ones that were dispatched. You'll see on the map, and click on it that way. So before we go ahead and do one of these, let me just show you how to create your own order, and that's this blue button over here, place an order. So if you've got a local client that you want to demonstrate this to and generate a report for a property, you can do it this way. So you click that button and it brings you up to this order entry dialog box, 3 parts: the find an address, place the order, and then you'll get your order confirmation number. So the address search is where you'll start, and if you have an exact match and it's in Validix, once you hit search, it'll just pop you over to the place an order. If it can't find it, it'll tell you that, or if it's not sure and there's like a partial address, it'll give you some choices. So say that the property I want to do is 3238 Sagewood Lane in San Jose, and I make a mistake and leave off one of the digits there. When I hit search, so it'll attempt to give you a match here. And so then I can select this way. So I'll just go ahead and click on this. That's the one I wanted. And then that brings us to this place an order screen. And so here's the address, 3238 Sagewood. The key selection here is what kind of report do you want to generate. And whether you do a ZVal or a 2055, Validix is still going to go out, look at the comps, predict the value, and put that in, that value in red that you'd see on the balancing screen. It's just how much additional information does it put on the report for you. And so you can choose the type of report you want. And again, it's UAT, so you can play around with this and try different reports and see what they look like. Right now, the ZVal is complete as far as I know and kind of ready for production. This ServiceLink 2055 is the one they're working on for our new client. That's working pretty well, but it's still a work in progress, as are these other ones. And so I've messed around with them from time to time. But if you're doing something locally, probably this ZVal is the quick and easy way to start. It's the simplest, and then you can show that to a client, for example. The fields with the stars are the required fields. So if you've actually got a client name, you can put that in. If you don't, it doesn't really care what you put in here, even letters for numeric fields, just to get started. So then you put in that information and hit submit order, and it's created an order now that's number 440. And so I can close this out. And if I go back to my zone 631 where
Right.
that was at, here's 440. You can see I did another one of these before. So there you created an order, or one could be loaded for you. But when you're ready to do it, you'll come to this page, and you can hover over it. It highlights it, and then you do the left mouse click. And that gives you some options here. If you've got your zone fully balanced and everything's ready to go, you can just hit Generate Report and go right to it. These are just a couple of shortcuts that will take you to the same place you'd get if you were back here in the market balancing. But you can see the actual property itself, see how it's being scored in terms of the comps that are there, and go to the market balance page if you need to update that. So if I wanted to look at this, I could just click the property score, and it'll bring up our subject here, and you see the predicted price. The ones we've been doing as this ADO test out here in California and Nevada, we picked out of some pending sales. So just like you would do for your comps where you gold score them, I can go into the MLS and look at this thing and say, oh, they've got a pretty fancy backyard with some water features and stuff, and that's going to actually get me to an 8 on my extras that I didn't know before. It's been fully remodeled, and so this condition actually needs to go up to 8 as well, for example. So I've done that, and now I've got my subject scored a little bit better. Save the changes, and you can see the predicted value is there. So once I've done that and I'm confident and ready to generate the report, then we'll go back here. Oops. And now we'll click again and do Generate Report. Now this is the step that can be a little disconcerting because there's no hourglass, no progress bar. It's just a white screen. So you want to give it literally a lot longer than you'd have to on almost any other website. Well, now we're getting an hourglass. So it's going to take a little bit of time. And you can see there, this is only a 2-page report. That 2055 is 8 pages, with the comp grids and stuff. So it'll take a little bit longer. But this is what you'll normally see. It'll pop up the report here, and you can see all these blue fields. I'll be able to go in and update those. If you hadn't worked on it before, you wouldn't notice the change, but this save and sign used to be down at the bottom by your signature, and now there's a save also. So if you're working on this, or you're paranoid you're going to lose your internet connection, you do a little bit of work, you can hit save. It's going to pop you back out, and you'll have to click again to open the order back up, but it's a way to save your work while you're in the midst of it. So all these fields you can go through and change if you wanted to. And so let's see, if I didn't have it but wanted to put it in, I can obviously do that. But you'll want to go through and see what Volytics has done, what it's auto-generated. If it's missing something like census tract that you're going to need, you may have to put that in manually. Although this is, it's in FAIRS, and so they're working on getting that mapped for our area. But again, you'll see these kind of things where it may not be working right or populating everything. Certainly, as you run into anything, let Zayo know through Glenn, the support at zonedatasystems.com, or the website. You can open a ticket. But it's populating things. The lot size here, it's got our score of 5 out of 10. The market boundaries, if you haven't put that in your neighborhood description, you can type it manually, but you'll want to go back into your zone and fill that in, as well as these other neighborhood characteristics, so that those will auto-populate. This price and age range, it actually does for you, and you can check this again. Use your knowledge of the local market if you want to override anything, and this is the pre-populated things in the neighborhood. I have seen this work, so I know if there's prior sales history, it will populate this as well. And on the ZVal, our basic report, it just lists the comps that were used, the sales price, but none of the adjustments. I see the sales date's not in here, so this is probably another piece that's in process. And I'm just going to make a note here
Okay.
and report that. I don't
Hang on,
see that
I'll
yet.
give you stop a second. I'm taking a screenshot.
Yeah,
Okay.
good deal. I don't even have to use my fingers here. Glenn will do it for us. So.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, good deal. And so then here's that the value that was generated, and this one I actually didn't. So March 9th, that's the last time I had updated this particular zone. Although yesterday I did it in production, but it's not over here yet. So this actually is based on when you last.
So it's not
zone.
based on the day you submit your report.
No, you'll see down here at the bottom there's a
Oh,
signature
okay.
date, and that'll populate once we sign it. But then the effective date is back there. So as you saw when I had the order there, and I had those three menu options, I could go ahead and balance the market and get it updated as of today's date. And so that would probably be part of your workflow going forward to double check if you've loaded any new sales.
All right.
So this value reconciliation, again, it makes an attempt to auto-generate some narrative here that you can read through and update if you like it or don't like it. Same way here for intended use. You can type that in, and I think on this form also, yeah, there's some free-form comments down here. So if there's anything else you wanted to certify or note, you could type it in here as well. So once you're satisfied with the form content and the value, then you come on up here and hit the save and sign. And I realize I didn't show you how to do the signature yet.
Yeah.
Caleb, so I'll hop back
Right.
and do that. But let's just see how it works here. So now I get this status message, signed successful. When I hover up here, it's given me this little Adobe menu. In some browsers, there'll actually be another little menu bar up here. So you can save a copy locally to your PC with this button, or print it, or if you've got a PDF printer, you can do it that way. Do the usual kind of Adobe stuff. So the save and sign saves it on the server. And so come down here, so it's got my signature and it populates today's
Okay, so
date.
once again, after you sign it, if you don't save it in your local PC, you won't have a copy, right?
Well, you won't. You'll have a copy still
Right.
on the server that you could go back and get. But if you wanted to email it or save it locally, you can do it at this time. If I don't do it, it's still going to be there in that list of orders, and I can still look at it. So if I exit out of this, it's down here at 440,
Sign.
and now it's signed. And I'll go ahead and click on it again, generate report. But that is really at this point going to mean refresh the report. It brings it up, and so it's still signed, and it's still got the custom notes and stuff we put in. So it's there on the server. All right. So let me loop back and show you how to load your signature. Also, when you're on this black menu bar here, all the way over to the right, it'll have your name or your zone owner name if you're signed in for somebody, and it's got the little drop down arrow. User settings, and the only thing in that right now is our signature. So I'll click on this, and it brings up this little dialog box. If you don't have a signature in there yet, this will be blank, and it'll tell you to load a signature. And so then what you'll do, it's kind of the standard Windows thing. You'll choose the file, and it'll bring you up to the the Windows navigation bar, and then you could scroll down and find a signature and hit submit here, and then it'll update this. So again, that's a one-time deal, and it's actually stored on the Zayo servers. So if I go to another machine and log into Volytics, it'll still have my signature, and I can.
Okay. In terms of the signature file, when I do my signatures, I have to save it in like JPEG file, or what kind of a file format I need to save it?
Yes, I definitely JPEG. It may work with some others, and you can see here it's saying the best format size is 300 pixels by 100 pixels. So if you've got a graphics program that you use, like I use Snagit, you can work with that and manipulate the signature file down to 30 by 100. I think it actually will try to resize. I think the first one I did was bigger, but it'll get it in the right proportion. And you can see I didn't quite have this right initially. It cut off a little bit of my signature. But you'll, if you can get it in JPEG 30 by 100, that's guaranteed to work. I'm not positive about other formats, but hopefully you can get it that way.
Okay, all right. So the first thing I need to do is kind of make my signatures, put it in a JPEG file, and then submit it to here, and then my signature will stay here as long as I want it to sign my my forms. Okay, all right. Good.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Yep. And at this point, Harvey, let me ask you: is there anything else you'd like me to demonstrate there in terms of the order generation process? We'll give Harvey a minute to see if he types in. Okay, so he's good. So we can hit back here. So that's really the whole process. If you want to look at this 2055 report, we'll generate that and just see how it looks. And then you've got this UAT server, and if you've got a zone balanced, you can just go ahead and play around with it and try putting in some orders yourself. And so this is the same property, but it's filling in some more fields. It's giving us the GPS coordinates for the map reference. Some of this it won't know, and you'll have to put it in as you go through the form. But again, it'll try to auto-populate as much of this as it can. And here it's got more of the full sales grid, and it's the UAD formats here that it's generating.
Hey Matt,
for
can
us,
you go in your sales comps? I want to see if they've got proximity in there correctly. They do in yours. It never comes up right in mine.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Right.
So let's look here, and in fact, it'll give us 6 comps. Yeah, and I think that's right. This one, as I recall, let's look out here on the map. That's kind of a dogleg area that I've got set up, and so the subject's up here, and then the comps, this school zone kind of comes around down here. So you can see it's a little further away, but it's definitely picking from my market group, because Morrill Avenue and Cropley here are the boundaries. So it's working right. There's the map. I guess if we've got photos in here, it'll populate it, and if not, you can actually load a photo if you want. You can manually do it to put that in. I'm just playing around. That was a little graphic I've got. Same kind of thing. And then it attempts to do a 1004 MC, and if you load some active and pending sales on your MLS, it'll fill this in for you. And again, probably like your appraisal software, you'll want to double check this and decide if you like the analysis or not. This one for the for Service Link, I guess because we're going to be doing these as pre-foreclosures. There's the this addendum here that we'll need to fill out, and there's 10 questions. Some of these they've auto-populated for us, so you can look at a drop-down here if you like that. Just use it, or you can type in your own. One thing you do need to get is the unemployment rate for the area, so that everybody will have to get to get locally. Although it's funny, yesterday I typed this in, just unemployment. Google automatically predicted it for me, said it knew I was in San Jose, and brought up the Bureau of Labor Statistics chart, so I can say it's 9.1% as of April and on a decline. So, and same kind of thing then. Once you're done, you can go back up and hit save and sign, and it'll finish it. I'm actually not sure now that I've done that, Glenn, if I can remove the signature, if I want to make some changes. I'm thinking maybe not. Once you sign it, it may be
Let's go down to the bottom and see if we can remove it.
Yeah. Looks like I can highlight on it, but
I don't
think I can delete it. Yeah, so that's a one-way trip, and that may be a limitation, but at least we know about it going in. That don't sign it until you're sure you've got everything done. If you're not positive, just do the save. Okay, so that's it, unless you've got any other questions. Caleb, would you type in your email address for me into the chat box? I'll go ahead and send you that link. I think I'll send it out to everybody eventually, but I'll send you that to the recorded webinar and to this one as well. So if you want to go back and reference anything, you can.
Okay.
And then I'll open it up. Glenn, did I forget to cover anything? Harvey, anything else you'd like me to cover? And same way, Caleb.
Question in this form here, if you want to attach your license, is there any way you can do it?
Good question. Glenn?
Don't know. That's a good question. I'll make a note of it. See, I think because we're going through all that pre-qualification and background checks and all that stuff, I think they're going to have that Service Link.
Oh, okay.
But I'll ask Harvey. No, Harvey Siegel.
Yeah,
he's kind of the OMS guy.
And it seems reasonable we should be able to do that, but at this point I don't see any way to. So, good idea. We'll take that as an enhancement request, Caleb. Thanks. Okay. All right. Anything else in terms of questions at this point, or I'm certainly glad if you've got any questions on the earlier stuff in terms of the market balancing or MLS stuff. We could tackle that.
Okay. In terms of order fulfillment, I think I'm okay. Very clear, and I have no problems.
Okay, sounds good.
The key to it is just playing around with it in UAT, though, and doing a few, because I was working with Linda and Frank Molinari last night because they had some issues and they didn't have their Chrome options or Chrome plugin set up right. So it's just play with it and get familiar with it, and do it in UAT though, not in production.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Harvey, you were asking if this has been written up. I don't think so yet, because this has kind of been a work in progress. Hopefully my link where I've recorded this, and you can see here I've got a little table of contents, so if you want to go back, it's 40 minutes total, but if you've already got your Chrome browser set up and you just want to go to entering the orders, so you can slide the slider up to the 12-minute and 40-second mark and see how we enter an order and so on here, so you can go through and zero in on the part that you want to cover. So we'll have that available online, and Glenn at some point may also document it. But kind of as I said at the beginning, the actual mechanics aren't that bad on this one. It's just building on all the work you've done up to this point in terms of getting the zone balanced and that kind of thing.
The problem with writing an overview, Harvey, is that the forms don't populate all the time correctly. So until we can get some of those bugs worked out, it's real difficult to write an overview. I've got one started, but it's a work in progress.
Okay. So I guess if there's nothing else, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. And certainly, if you've got any questions or anything, come back to Glenn or I, and we'll be glad to help. And any ideas or problems you see as you're working through this in terms of the forms not performing the way they're supposed to, send that in to Glenn as well. We've captured a couple things today, and we'll keep doing it as we get this to
good. Thank you so much.
All right, you bet. Thanks, guys.
Okay,
and talk
bye.
to you later.